Boker Tov. Chazak Baruch for making the minyan. Speak the mitzvot. Something I want to clarify from the last day's halachot before we move on to today. So we mentioned that if a person, the Shulchan Aruch says, if a person lights early, then he needs to accept upon himself Shabbat at that time, talking about the lighting of Shabbat candles, because it's not apparent that you might be lighting for Shabbat. You might be lighting for candles in your house. You might be lighting for the light in your house. And therefore, because it's not apparent, you have to show that you're lighting for Shabbat. So you have to accept upon yourself Shabbat at that time. As opposed to if you light Shabbat candles in its proper time, which is still before Shkia. So if, let's say, you have to drive to shul afterwards, or you drive with your wife because there's a meal at shul, whatever it is, you're lighting, it's obvious you're lighting for Shabbat, and therefore you could take that ride after lighting, before Shkia, of course, and then accept upon Shabbat later. But just to add to that is that, let's say in our community, in many communities, let's say it's a known thing. People pray early. So in the summertime, Shkia is very late. So if a person lights after Plaga Mincha, you're lighting early for early Shabbat, and everyone knows it's early Shabbat. So it's noticeable that you're lighting for Shabbat. It's not that you're lighting for something else. And therefore, in that case, where it's a known thing that people light early, then you're lighting early Lichot Shabbat, and you do not need to accept upon your Shabbat at that time. As opposed to if, let's say, the entire city lights late, lights regular time. You want to light early, you want to be something different, then you would have to accept upon yourself Shabbat at the time of lighting. Sifei in the Shulchan Aruch says, K'sheyadlik yivarech, here's the bracha of lighting candles of Shabbat, Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, shekideshanu mitzvah tzivanu, le'adlik ner shel Shabbat, echad ha'ish ve'echad ha'isha, be it if it's obviously a woman lighting, or even if it's a man lighting, a man lives by himself, whatever it is. Gam beyom tov tzarich levarech, le'adlik ner shel yom tov. Ubeyom HaKippurim, below Shabbat, Yom Kippur that's not Shabbat, says the Shulchan Aruch, Yesh mi she'omer shelo yivarech. There's an opinion that says not to bless, not to make a bracha. V'ayan de kaman, and look later on the Halachot of Yom Kippur. And if you look later on, the Shulchan Aruch writes to yes bless, that there is a bracha, la'adlik ner shel Yom Kippurim. So what's the dispute when it comes to, like, some say that you shouldn't? Because we said that the lighting of the candles is for Oneg Shabbat, that you're sitting at a meal together with your wife, and you have to have light there, that Oneg Shabbat. But on Yom Kippur, there's no eating, there's no meal. And therefore, there are those that say there's no lighting required. And if there is a lighting required, there's no bracha. But the Shulchan Aruch rules that there is a bracha in that case. And the Sefer Menuchat Ahava has an interesting halacha over here on the side of the Mefarshim that says if a lady lit candles and she forgot to say the bracha, she already lit her Shabbat candles. So now what happens? So says the Sefer Menuchat Ahava, if she did not yet light put on the electricity, she didn't put the lights on in the room yet, or in a different room, ready for Shabbat, then she could actually make the bracha before she lights the electricity. She already lit the candles of Shabbat. So before she puts on the electricity, like the light in the room, she can make the bracha, la'adlik ner shel Shabbat, and have in mind her candles. Interesting halacha from Menuchat Ahava. Says Rav Yitzchak Yosef and Yalkut Yosef that when a lady, if she lit already fully without a bracha, she walked away from it, it's over, she lit, oh my gosh, I didn't make a bracha, better to shev ve'ata'aseh, to not do anything at that time, she already lit and that's it. And lastly, is there some people that add the word kodesh after the bracha, la'adlik ner shel Shabbat kodesh, but that's not the proper nusach, and it should be la'adlik ner shel Shabbat, and that's it. Say other things, Shabbat kodesh, but not the bracha. Okay, that's that for today. Minchat tonight at 4:25. Have a good day, everyone, and Shabbat shalom. Después.